Erev Tov Rabotai, we are continuing with our Mishna Yomi, Masechet Taanit. We are up to Perek Dalid Mishnah Gimel. Today's Mishnayot should be Leilun Nishmat, Neria ben Svetlana, Aranbayev, and Eliyahu ben Burcha Israelov, Menuchatam beGan Eden, Amen, and Avdei ben Chaim Nechaim, and the Refuah Shelema of Daniel Shalom ben Rosa, Betoch Shah Cholei Israel. The Mishnah begins, V'anshei HaMa'amad ayu mit'anin 4 yamim b'shavua miyom shenivad yom chamishi. The members of the Ma'amad, both those who attended the service in the temple and those who gathered in their hometowns, fasted on 4 days of their week from Monday to Thursday, meaning they fasted during the daytime only on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. In addition to fasting, they read from the Torah and prayed that God would accept the public offerings willingly. Velo hayu mitanin erev Shabbat mipnei chavod Shabbat, but they did not fast on Friday because of the honor of Shabbat, which would be diminished were one to begin the day famished from a fast. And it goes without saying that they refrained from fasting on Shabbat itself. Velo bechad b'Shabbat kedei shelo yetzu miminucha v'oneg legiya v'Taanit v'yamutu. Or on Sunday, so that they would not go directly from the rest and pleasure of the Shabbat into the toil and fasting of the next day, which would greatly weaken them. Now the words literally mean, and they will die, but the Mishnah uses the term figuratively to emphasize that fasting after a day of feasting weakens the body excessively. Now each day the members of Ma'amad read 2 paragraphs from the account of the creation in the Torah. B'yom harishon bereshit v'hi rakia. On Sunday they read the first paragraph in the beginning, Sefer Bereshit, chapter 1, verses 1 through 5, and the second paragraph, let there be a firmament, verses 6 to 8. Basheni, on Monday, they read the second paragraph, Yehi Rakia, let there be a firmament, V'yikavu hamayim, in the third paragraph, let the waters gather, which is verses 9 through 13. Bashlishi, on Tuesday, Yikavu hamayim, V'hi meorot. They read the third paragraph, let the waters gather, and the fourth paragraph, let there be luminaries, verses 14 through 19. Barivi, on Wednesday, Hi meorot, V'yishlitzu hamayim. They read the fourth paragraph, let there be luminaries, and the fifth paragraph, let the waters swarm, verses 20 through 23. B'chamishi, on Thursday, Shlitzu hamayim v'totzei haaretz. They read the 5th paragraph, let the waters swarm, and the 6th paragraph, let the earth bring forth, verses 24 to 31. B'shishi, on Friday, totzei haaretz v'vayichulu hashamayim. They read the 6th paragraph, let the earth bring forth, and the 7th paragraph, and the heaven and the earth were finished, chapter 2, verses 1 through 3. Now 3 people would read each day's paragraph. In those times, whenever the Torah was read in the synagogue, each section was read aloud by a different person. Today, however, this is no longer the practice because many people are unable to read the Torah properly. Instead, one person reads the entire Torah passage aloud, and for each section, a different member of the congregation is called to read quietly with him, as the Rosh explains in Masechet Megillah, chapter 3, Ot 1. The Mishnah explains how the 2 paragraphs were divided among them in the times of the Mishnah when 3 people would read each day's paragraph. Parasha Gedola קוראים אותה בשניים והקטנה ביחיד. A longer paragraph was divided and read by 2 people, and a shorter paragraph was read in its entirety by 1. For example, on Sunday, the paragraph of In the Beginning, which is 5 verses long, was divided between 2 people. One read the first 3 verses, and the other repeated the 3rd verse and read the last 2 verses. And the 3rd verse had to be repeated because it is not permitted to read fewer than 3 verses at a time, as it says in Mishnah Masechet Megillah, chapter 4, Mishnah 4. The paragraph of let there be a firmament, Vayirakia, which has 3 verses, was then read by a 3rd person. On Monday, the paragraph let there be a firmament, Vayirakia, which has 3 verses, was read by 1 person. And the paragraph of Yikavu hamayim, let the water gather, 5 verses, was divided between 2 people. And this pattern was followed for the rest of the week. The Mishnah states more laws about the Torah reading, B'shachrit u'b'musaf. Only at Shachrit and Musaf did the members of the Ma'amad bring out a Torah scroll and have 3 people read from it in the manner that we described. The Mishnah's mention of Musaf refers to the occasions when the Musaf offering was brought, such as Rosh Chodesh. On those days, the members of the Ma'amadot read from the Torah not only at the Shachrit service, but at the Musaf service as well. However, this law is limited to the members of the Ma'amad who gathered in their hometowns. Those who went to the temple were occupied with the Musaf offering on those days and did not have the time to read the Torah at any service except Shacharit. However, at Mincha and Neilah, when they were exhausted from the fast, they did not bring out a Torah scroll. Rather, they entered the synagogue and all of them recited the passage together by heart, as is done when reciting the Shema. Erev Shabbat b'mincha lo yu nichnasim mipnei chavod Shabbat. On Friday at Mincha, they did not enter the synagogue to read the Torah at all because they were busy making preparations in honor of Shabbat. and on Friday afternoon they were not required to read the day's paragraphs even to themselves. And that is in Rabotai of Mishnah Gimel. Mishnah Dalet continues, like we learned earlier, the members of the week's Ma'amad, both those in the temple and those in their towns, recite 3 prayers in the daytime, Shachrit, Mincha, Ne'ilah. On days when a Musaf offering is brought, they also recite the Musaf prayer. At each of these services, they read from the Torah and add a special prayers for the acceptance of the offerings. The Mishnah teaches that on certain occasions, the members of the Ma'amad who were in the temple say only the basic prayers, Shachrit, Musaf when relevant, Mincha, Ne'ilah, and omit the Torah readings and the extra prayers. Kol yom sheyesh bo halel en bo ma'amad b'shacharit. Any day on which Halel is recited, which refers to days such as Chanukah, when we recite Halel but do not bring a Musaf offering, there is no Ma'amad service at Shacharit, since the members of the Ma'amad must say Halel on these days in addition to their task of watching the service of the Tamid. They do not have time for the added Torah reading and prayers at Shacharit. Since Halel is recited at Shacharit, the Ma'amad service of Shacharit is omitted, but the Ma'amad services of Mincha and Ne'ilah, however, remain in place. And only the Ma'amad members who attend the service in the temple do not hold Ma'amad services on the occasions listed in the Mishnah, because the added readings and prayers might interfere with the task that they have to perform there. The members who remain in their own towns and are not occupied with the offerings do not omit any Ma'amad services. And the Mishnah's law that Halel overrides the Ma'amad service of Shacharit applies only on Yom Tov, Chol Moed, and Chanukah, when reciting Halel is obligatory. On Rosh Chodesh, when reciting Halel is merely a custom, it does not displace the Ma'amad service of Shacharit, as the Gemara explains on page 28b, Masechet Taanit, and Rashi explains there. Korban Musaf en Bani'ilah, any day on which a Musaf offering is brought, such as Rosh Chodesh, there is no Ma'amad service at Ne'ilah, and certainly not at Musaf or Mincha, because the members of the Ma'amad are occupied with preparing wood and water for the Musaf offering. The Musaf offering displaces the Ma'amad services of Musaf, Mincha, and Ne'ilah, but not that of Shacharit, which is recited early in the day before the preparations of the Musaf offering begin. Now, on many occasions when the Musaf offering is brought, we also recite Halel. Therefore, on those days, the members of the Ma'amad do not hold the Ma'amad service of Shacharit in any event, since that service is displaced by Halel, like we just taught. On Rosh Chodesh, however, when Halel does not override the Ma'amad service of Shacharit because it's only a custom, they omit the Ma'amad service only at Musaf, Mincha, and Ne'ilah, and not at Shacharit. Kurban Etzim En Bo B'Mincha, any day on which a wood offering is brought. Now, the commentators explain certain families had the privilege of contributing firewood to the altar. Each family was assigned a different day or days each year on which to make its contribution. On its day, the family would also bring an olah offering, which was called the wood offering, and a portion of their wood was also burnt separately on the altar as an offering in its own right. So any day on which a wood offering is brought, there is no Ma'amad service at Mincha, because the members of the Ma'amad are busy greeting those who come to bring the wood offering. However, even on the wood offering days, there is Ma'amad service at Ne'ilah, Divrei Rabbi Akiva. These are the words of Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva differentiates between the Musaf offering, which displaces the Ma'amad service even at Ne'ilah, and the wood offering, which displaces only the Ma'amad service of Mincha. Since the Musaf offering consists of at least 2 animals, as on Shabbat, and often many more, as on Yom Tov, it takes much time to prepare. Therefore, it overrides all the Ma'amad services of the day except that of Shacharit, as Rashi explains on page 26a, Masechet Taanit. The wood offering, by contrast, which consists of just 1 animal, displaces only the Ma'amad service of Mincha. Now, according to Rabbi Akiva, the Musaf offering displaces the Ma'amad service of Ne'ilah, but the wood offering does not. The next Taanit disagrees. Amarlo ben Azai said to Rabbi Akiva, Kachaya Rabbi Yoshua Shoneh. Rabbi Yoshua taught the law as follows: Korban Musaf en bo b'mincha. When a Musaf offering is brought, there is no Ma'amad service at Mincha, and certainly not at Musaf, but there is one at Ne'ilah. Korban Nitzim en bo b'Ne'ilah. When a wood offering is brought, there is no Ma'amad service not only at Mincha, but even at Ne'ilah. And the commentaries explain that, however, on wood offering days, there is a Ma'amad service at Musaf. Now, Ben Azai holds that the wood offering displaces the Ma'amad service of Ne'ilah, but the Musaf does not. This is the explanation the commentaries give. Since the Musaf offering is a biblical obligation, it is surely given the attention it deserves. Therefore, there is little concern that holding the Ma'amad service at Ne'ilah might cause the members of the Ma'amad to neglect their duties for the Musaf offering. The Ma'amad service of Ne'ilah is therefore observed as usual. The wood offering, however, is solely a rabbinic mitzvah. Therefore, the Ma'amad service in Ne'ilah must be omitted, because otherwise the Ma'amad members might fail to carry their duties for that offering. And the Mishnah explains how Rabbi Akiva accepts Ben Azai's view. Chazar Rabbi Akiva liot shoneh ke Ben Azai. Rabbi Akiva changed his mind and taught us Ben Azai did in the name of Rabbi Yeshua that the wood offering displaces the Mamad service at Nilah, but the Musaf offering does not. And that is the Rabotai of today's Mishna Yomi. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen v'amen.